Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right, this one's called See You in Traffic. Well, I'm back at the crib again, so it's 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 been nice drinking me some lemonade. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. Okay, see you in traffic, man. I've been approached by the police many times back in the day when I was driving. Because I was always driving dirty. Won't catch me riding 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 dirty. Yes, I was always riding dirty. I always had something with my license. I had tickets. I had parking tickets. I've had my plates were always out, and I didn't have the right stickers and stuff like that. So it was crazy. Look, first and foremost, look, I was driving down 51st Street, 51st. When I got to Cottage Grove, this was in Chicago now. Keep in mind, 51st. I'm driving down 51st Street, and I went to make a turn, and this MG midget, you know what type like that? The MG midget came out, and it it tore his car up. I was driving a Buick Electra, a deuce and a quarter. Okay, I was driving a deuce and a quarter, so it didn't do no damage to it. But so then when I went to open the door of my car, I went to open the door. My 40 ounce fell out. My 40 fell out. 40 ounce of cocaine, 900, and burst on the ground right in front of the police. So I couldn't. It wasn't nothing I could say. I was riding with my daughter's mama, my daughter's mom at the time. So I told her, I said, "Hey, you be quiet. Let me handle it." So they said, "Step out of the car. Step out the car." So I stepped out. They said, "What is this right here?" I said, "Man, I dropped my beer." And you can tell, you can clearly see that the top was off. But I told them I hadn't drank it yet, you know, and you can smell it on my breath and everything. So I stepped out the car, and then they said, "Turn around, let me search you." So I put my hands on the hood of the car, and as soon as they start searching me, my daughter's mama got out of the car and went off. She called him everything but a child of God. So I started arguing with her, told her, say, "Hey, you gotta be quiet, be quiet now. You gonna both of us gonna go to jail, both of us gonna go to jail." And police was just standing there like looking, He said, "Man, what in the world?" And then he went to the other guys with the MG midget, you know. It was a 75 MG midget, and I was driving a 71 Buick Electric. So you can tell how old these cars were. And he said, you better listen to him. You better listen to him." And she kept going. I told her, "Get in the car, get in the car." She got back in the car. And then he said, "Now, I'm going to write you a ticket here and be in court." And the other guy didn't want to press charges because you know why? He didn't have insurance or a license. So they let that go. Man, she saved me for that one though. She saved me with that, with arguing with him, because she was about to go into it. Get into it with him. Then look, then one day, I went to the city of Chicago. I drove from Harvey, Illinois, and went to the city of Chicago to pick my little sister up. Okay, so I picked my little sister up, And once again, in the same area, I was coming down 49th Street. I think it was. I'm not for certain, but I haven't been there in a long time, so you know, my mind was clouded a little bit, but it probably was 49th Street. So we were coming down 49th Street, and my plates were out. Okay, my tags were out. So I knew the tags were out. So, but I figured I can skate up there and pick her up and bring her back to Harvey, Illinois. So we were coming back, and we stopped at a light, and as soon as we stopped at a light, I was looking through my rearview mirror, and here comes the police behind me. So, and he didn't turn his lights on. He was just sitting there, and he's waiting on the light too. And I was like, I told my sister, I said, look, police behind us. My sister knew not to look back. My sister knew not to look back at the police. But my niece was in the back seat. She turned around and looked. So I was getting nervous. And the light wouldn't change. Then all of a sudden, the green light came on, but it was the arrow that tells you to turn right turn on left or something like that. It was a left turn on you know, but it wasn't the actual light. The actual light was still red. So I saw that green light, and I took off, and I got in the middle of the intersection, and the police was still sitting back there. And I said, "Oh my goodness!" I told my sister, I said, "I'm gone. I'm gone." I pulled over to the side. Then the police said, "Step out of the car." And as soon as they said, "Step out of the car," my niece went crazy. Ah, 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 ah. Man, she went crazy. She went crazy, man. And the police said, "Hey, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down." She kept on screaming, going crazy, going crazy, going crazy. Then police told me, "Look, look, look. Get in your car and take them to the house. Take them home. And get this little girl out the street. And you know you're not supposed to be driving with your tags out and stuff like that." I said, "Yes, sir, yes, sir." He said, "Now go on." And I jumped in the car and took off again. Yeah. She saved my life. My niece saved my life. She saved my life. Okay, then yeah, she saved my life. And then one day my uncle was diabetic, okay? And he wanted me to drive him to I think it was Midlothian or yeah, I think it was Midlothian. He wanted me to drive him to Midlothian. That's up in the Chicago area, but it's in the south suburbs of Chicago. It was Midlothian. So I was driving him to go and get his medicine. Okay, so when we were driving, it was a police got up on my bumper real close while I was driving. So he got up on my bumper real close. I said, "Oh my goodness!" So I was thinking about my plates. I said, "Are my plates expired?" No. Is my stickers expired? No. I said, "I'm good." So he was. So when I turned into the mall area, I made a turn into the mall. Then he said, "Woo, woo, woo." He turned the lights on. I said, "Oh my." So I was arrogant. So he said, "Let's see your license. Let's see your license." I said, I gave it to him. And then this guy told me, he said, "Well, you got to come with us." I said, "What did I do? What did I do?" And he said, "Well, your license is expired, okay?" And then I said, "What date is on there?" So I neglected to check my license to see if it was expired because my birthday had just passed, so it was expired. So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll go down there and take care of it." He said, "No, you got to go to jail with us. You got to go come and get processed in, then you gone. You can leave. I told her, I said, what? And we was in the car, and my daughter was in the car. She was standing in the seat, and she looked at those police. She said, "Leave my daddy alone. Leave him alone." And I was shocked because she really wasn't talking that good like that, but she could talk sense, but she knew what she was saying. She said, "Leave my daddy alone." And the police said, "I'm not messing with your daddy. Your daddy's license just expired." She said, "No, leave him alone." So I said, "Look, sir, don't traumatize my daughter like by you know taking me in your car. Let me follow you in my car, and I'll come out there and take care of everything, and then everything will be cool." So he said, "All right." He said, "All right, come on, follow me." So we start following him, and he was going fast too. I was gone too, but we got in the police station. I filled out some paperwork, and that was it. That was it. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, my daughter saved me out of that. She saved me. She said, "Leave my daddy alone." She said it with authority too. Then one day my big sister was having my nephew. Okay, she was getting ready to have my nephew. So we had to drive out to the hospital. So I wanted to be there, make sure I was there, because I was always there with the birth of all of my nephews and stuff like that. So I'm talking about, I said, "Let's go." So I picked my sister, my other sister up, and my mother. And we were driving out. We was on the expressway. And I was talking about, "Man, we're going to be late. We're going to be late." You know what? I thought we was going to be late. And because she was in labor. She was getting ready to have the baby. So we wanted to be there as soon as she had him. And then we can be there. So we driving. And Lord and behold, I got pulled over by a state trooper. So he pulled me over. He said, "You speeding. And guess what? I didn't have my license with me. I didn't have my license with me. So it was, I started telling him, "Look, man, look, we got to get, my sister is going into labor now. We got to get up there." And it seemed like he was taking his time, man. So I started getting mad. So I remember telling my mother, I said, "As soon as he come back here, as soon as he come back to this door, I'm going to give him something. I'm really going to give him something." And my mother said, don't do that. Don't do that." So he started giving me tickets and stuff like that. Then he kept delaying. Then my sister and my mother flew off the handle. They were telling them, come on now.
Hurry up.
You gonna make us late. You gonna make us late.
Hurry up.
Going off and stuff like
Hurry
that.
up.
So he said, he came back. He said, "All right. I got to take his information down." He had my license over there at the car. Now he had a paper that I had given him with I think it was my insurance papers or something. But they had my license number and everything on it. So he was running checks and stuff like that. So he was delaying it, and my mother and my sister were going off. So finally he came back. He said, "Look, go ahead, follow me there." So we followed him, and that was it, man. Needless to say, she had already had my nephew by the time we got there, but that was crazy. Mm, yep. I don't get in trouble with the law anymore. I haven't been pulled over in so long, you know. So, but I don't want to jinx myself, so let me stop talking about it. All right, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share my videos with your friends. Share my videos with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Peace. Adios. Salamat. Stay out of trouble, okay?